So should I introduce myself? Yeah, my,
Yes,
my
yes.
name is Sandeep Capre. I'm the regional CEO of BDO in East Africa. Uh, we were BDO East Africa till 6 months ago. Now we're East and Central Africa. We have offices in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Ethiopia, DR Congo, Congo Brazzaville, and Cameroon. We also have our head office in Mauritius. So we are 11 countries in the region.
Just give us an overview of the stuff you had talked about earlier with regards to this initiative
Yeah.
and the survey that you had done.
Okay. So we, as BDO, is the fifth largest audit and accounting firm in the world. It's a $15 billion franchise across 160 odd countries. As I've already mentioned, our footprint out here, our objective is to bring captains of the industry together. You would have seen 150 of the most influential CEOs are here. These are the people who are decision makers. And not only are the CEOs from the private sector, we also have people who are regulators. We have people from Revenue Authority and the government. Um, Now, what does BDO do? BDO primarily brings thought leadership. So, obviously, since we are a global organization, thought leadership comes from various different countries, including East Africa. So, it's not like it only comes from the outside and we have to adopt it. We also provide a lot of insights to the world, and all these insights are then compounded together into surveys and into documents. And a document is recently published about all the risks faced by industry around the world. We wanted to kind of bring that back to the captains of the industry and see what are the solutions. So we have talked about what are the solutions. We had robust interaction between the government, the private sector, and the regulators, and ourselves. And that is to ensure that Kenya never gets left behind and it always catches up with whatever is happening. And that's one part, and also shows leadership in areas that Kenya is really good at. Right? So, as we know, Kenya is extremely good when it comes to human resources. Okay, some of our resources in terms of capital availability, cost of capital, etc., are not very good. We're not United States, so we're not China, which has a lot of capital available. But how do we then implement some of these solutions that we are bringing to the table with those handicaps or shortcomings on one side, and the great advantages that we have of highly qualified, productive staff? How do you marry them together and try and create the magic? That's really what it's all about.
So, what are some of these risks that you established, and how is the initiative contributing and to make the top business leaders be able to navigate this kind of environment?
Yes. There are a couple of them. So one is obviously there is AI and technology which everybody's talking about, right? So there is a lot happening in data analytics, AI, machine learning, large language models, etc. As these are coming out into the fore, we are having problems in terms of how um, we as a nation and all the companies within Kenya or East Africa, how do we respond to that? Now, we may not have the wherewithal, as I said, we may not have the capital to kind of solve all the problems in one go, but it doesn't mean that we cannot create foundational layers. So, what we're doing is we're creating foundational layers and then saying, let's deploy small solutions one at a time. And those small solutions bring you returns, it builds confidence, it builds skills, and then you can go for more solutions and more solutions, right? Ultimately, if we can then provide enough solutions, that goes to the second risk where you're saying business models are getting disrupted. There's lack of talent or lack of ability to implement. You have a great strategy, but implement strategy. Maybe worldwide, the implementers of AI and technology could be Kenyans in the future because we have done it before on our own home turf, right? So it is important that Kenya sees itself as a center of shared services units or shared services centers. We should be the ones who should be able to provide niche or small solutions to transform businesses which can cut across industries. Right? So we may not tomorrow create the next Facebook, but we may be able to create the data analytics platform for businesses and which improve productivity by 22 to 25% across the world. Now we can have an impact without being the people who invented Facebook. Right? So I think that's the kind of things that we are talking about. Something that is practical, pragmatic, and something that can be actually implemented on the ground rather than just theoretical platitudes. Because we do not believe in that. We believe that change should happen now. Because I think Kenya doesn't.
I don't know what you make of the cost of doing business, and also things to do with the tax regime, and also stuff to do with the policy. From that point of view, what do you make of that when you look at it
So
from
yeah,
a business man's?
it's a very important question, and thank you for asking me this interesting question. Uh, it is very easy to lay the blame on to somebody else, and that is a lazy man's behavior to say, oh, our policy systems are not good, our tax regime is not good, uh, there's a lot of corruption, and all those kind of things can be said. Who drives that? It's you and me. It's driven by business, it's driven by government, it is driven by regulators, it's driven by thought leaders like us. So I think what the whole idea was to bring all of these guys together to say, okay, we have our challenges. Okay, if tomorrow the government reduces all its taxes, we would have a massive budget deficit which we will never be able to fit. So you require the taxes, right? When we know that these are some of the things which have to happen, then within those circumstances, what can we do best? And rather than just moaning and talking about why we cannot do it, our thing was we have to be consistently positive about the ability to bring change, and that is what we want to be change makers for.
No, no. Thank you.